Today's update contains broken ride-on mower, brush cutting the pig pen, African cabbage, random guinea fowl eggs, feral pigs in the neighbour's paddock, plus a few other bits and pieces I've forgotten. How's it going, folks? Rob and Jack here. Just a little bit of a midweek update on what's going on, bring you up to speed with a few bits and pieces at the farm. Bianca's actually inside working, doing her day job at the moment, so we're about to get a thunderstorm, so I thought I'd just bring you up to speed. To begin with, mowing the lawn. So as you may be aware, someone decided to say g'day to a nope rope and got bitten, so for that reason we like to keep the grass short. Now we did have some livestock here, 3 little guinea pigs. They were living in a hutch just under that palm tree before they went back to their original owner. G'day Big D. Yeah, they've pretty much all gone back there because Bianca was a little bit concerned that their scent may have contributed to the snakes coming to the house, smell like a rodent. We decided to go down on Friday and drop them back, and while we were away we had a bit more rain. What are you doing kicking me? Yeah, big baby. Yeah, so we had a bit more rain, the grass is growing again. It was mowed just before we left, and I decided to hop on this morning and have a bit of a crack. The first thing I always do is just the Starlink cable area, get Bianca to hold the cable over her head. And yeah, so we will be setting that up at some point. So yeah, got out, did that little front area down there, just trying to keep the grass down around the house, and got to a long patch and the belt snapped. So yeah, I'm not too pleased with that, but it's one of those things when you buy a second-hand mower. This mower was our as-is trade-in that we bought from the company. So what we've decided to do is, I could change the belt myself. I think they're about 80 bucks, 90 bucks if you buy them on eBay. But what we've decided to do is get a mechanic out to have a look at it, get him to change the belt for us, but also give us a once-over on the engine itself. It's a 21 horsepower Vanguard by Briggs & Stratton, and yeah, would you just get him to give the once-over on the motor itself to see what he thinks, and if there's any small jobs, he can look after that, and then next time the belt needs to be done or the blades or whatever, I'll look after that. But I just don't know enough about small little motors like this. Didn't pay enough attention with the old man, and yeah, I'd prefer to get a professional just cast their eye over it. So as a result, I didn't get a lot of the lawn mowed. A lot of out there needs to be done, and this buffalo grass here needs to be done as well. When we came back, aquaponics system in the making, or hydroponic, or maybe a frog farm. Yeah, when we came back, we had a lot of water sitting on the pavers here, and it's also down under here where we park the cars. And Bianca, the bright spark that she is, put 2 and 2 together and said, well, we've had a lot of rain while we've been away. Bits and pieces I still need to unpack. Maybe it's coming from this tank up here. So this tank is the end result of where all the water ends up after those tanks are full. Overflow on to that roof there, and then it flows through the gutters down into these tanks. These tanks are supposed to be filled up from the dam, but yeah, we've had that much rain, it's been overflowing, and it's just been falling out here. And there's a little bit of a dodgy fix here. This is a 50mm DWV, which is a drain to waste and vent pipe fitting, and it's got some 40mm pressure just in there. They've cut a little bit of section out there so they can clamp it on and try and make a watertight seal. It hasn't happened though, unfortunately. So just a bit of 40mm pipe or 1.5 inch pipe coming out. So a very easy fix. I go into my box of aquaponics bits and pieces, and I have a 40mm or 1.5 inch dual 45 there. Just whack that on the end, bit of pipe on the end there. I'll fix that up in a minute, it's not quite right, but yeah, down into the spare 100mm pipe or 4-inch pipe that I bought when we replaced that pipe there when it fell down. So I've just got that and the old end cap from the first flush diverter, and on there, running down this 6 meter length into the section of pipe that fell down from the tank, and then we're just going to try and get this water diverted away from the house. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the background, but we're about to get another storm. I don't know if you can make it out, but the water's just dripping down there. And I also do need to make sure that that join just up in there is nice and watertight. But yeah, if we have the water coming out here, there is a bit of a hollow that goes down there, and it will divert it away from the house. So that is pretty much all, yeah, my small little job for this afternoon, because I didn't get to mow the rest of this. just around here on the other side, that tank is on a bit of a lean. And seeing the amount of rain we have, I have a working theory that that used to be the downpipe there. And you might be able to see, actually, we'll zoom in. Might be able to make out that that concrete slab is rather exposed and there's a lot of dirt washed away from underneath it. So my theory is they didn't have an overflow. Oh, that black pipe, by the way, is where the water is pumped up from the bottom dam. So what I'm thinking happened is the water's come out through that overflow, has eroded all that ground next to the slab there and also here. And that is why this tank here in particular is on a bit of a lean. So that is something we definitely need fixed as soon as we have somewhere to put all that water, be it on the ground to grow plants or in another tank when we sort out what's going on with the other tanks around the place. Oh, by the way, this will be coming out. We just, the Sparky couldn't make it out last week. It was a little bit busy, so fingers crossed if we're not flooded in tomorrow and the next day, Jack will be out to just finish rewiring upstairs. Maybe we shouldn't have got it checked and just lived with what we had. And disconnect the lights that comes into here because we definitely don't want the shed here. The other thing I did do was get a lawn blade for the steel line trimmer that we've got, just to knock this down. It was just a little bit too tall for the line to cut it. And also there are some woody bits and pieces in here. Oh, and just to give you a look, the guinea fowl have been laying in here again. Just randomly, you'll just walk and find an egg. But there was some tougher plants in here that the line trimmer wasn't getting, so the blade looked after them. That plant there is still a little bit thick, but what we're trying to do is just cut this whole or clear this whole area out, because this is our first place that we want to clear out, pull out all the little shelters, pull this little jobby here down. We're thinking about turning that into part of the aquaponics or the fish room, maybe not here, maybe somewhere else, and basically just clear out these paddocks. We do have an unidentified cucurbit over there. We haven't been through to see what it is, but we're also getting some tomatoes in here as well. Now these guys here, all the fruit have come off, but these guys here, I just noticed another egg. Oh look, oh they're the ones I hit the other day. I actually hit some older ones. Yeah, they're looking a little bit manky. I hit an older one the other day and yeah, I had to go in and have a shower. Got my beard and my pants and shirt and a bit stinky. But anyway, back to the tomatoes. These guys here are what I was told was called the brain tomato. They do have a German name. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it'll pop up on the screen. There's a couple of them through here. I accidentally trimmed one down here the other day. One plant that we do have in here that if anyone knows what it is, I'd really like a little bit of a heads up. So I've worked out what this plant is. It is called African cabbage or Cleome geandra. I think I've butchered that well enough. So it is classed as an emerging invasive weed here in Queensland for vegetable croppers, but it's also used as a food and also a medicinal all around the world. One thing I do know though is that the native bees like it, but it is something that we're going to probably try and control here because it looks like it gets out of hand a bit. We're thinking it's probably something that came in with the feed for the pigs in this yard because it was just a bit of a carpet when we first got in here. There is also some very healthy looking grass in here as well. No doubt it has been feeding on all the manure left by the pigs. So anyway, this area here is one of the first areas once we knock all the grass down that we want to clean out. There's things like these tires over here. That's actually one that Bianca and I flipped over. We'll give you a look at another one. Down here we have a mosquito farm. There's a lot of these half tractor tires around the place. Now I have read through the comments on the last video. Sorry I haven't got back to them all. Yes, and there is also rat tail grass here. But these tractor tires, we won't be keeping them. They're fine if you've got, say, like an earthship house where the tire is totally encased and buried. They're pretty fine, but they're not something I would put food near. But that's just my personal opinion. You guys do whatever you feel comfortable with. We all have to make our own choices. But there's something I wouldn't feed animals from or grow plants in so that I was going to eat. So these things here we will be taking out and repurposing. You can see over there we have some old bathtubs, things like that, not a problem. And over there we've even got some half blue barrels, not a problem with them either. They're HDPE plastic. So they're the sort of things we'll be using as food containers. But as I mentioned before, yeah, all these little sheds, there's one here, there's another one over there behind all that rat tail grass. Those things we need to take out. The other thing we do have to do is get all these bathtubs, flip them over so they're not holding water and potentially mosquitoes. And look what I've just found. There's a little tunnel going through there. And on the other side, we have some googs. Might be a bit easier to see from this side, but I think we have a couple of eggs down there from the guinea fowl. Oh, there's another one over there. There is another one. I don't know if you can make it out over there. And also what looks like a broken one. Oh, there's a broken one in there. Two broken ones in there as well. Okay, what I think has happened there is we have some feral pigs in the area. I caught some vision of a couple, a family unit, the other week. The neighbour actually had some trappers out and they trapped all of them bar one that jumped out, and a couple of the smaller piglets that you can see there. They escaped, but they pretty much all got the rest, and another neighbour further up the road apparently got a boar with his dogs around the same time. So yeah, there's definitely pigs in the area. In fact, we found scat when we came back just over near the rain gauge when we came over to check it. So we know we have them in the yard, and we need to set up some cameras so we can try and get some footage of them. But I just couldn't believe it. Early afternoon and they were out in broad daylight, and the neighbour was saying that he would see them feed in the paddock when he was down there feeding the horses. And yeah, so they decided to get a trap, bait it with some grain and get the pigs used to it. And then the night when they were all in there, they set the trap off. And Bob's your uncle, they ended up with some dog meat. So a good way to look after a bit of a feral pest. We're actually hoping to get one or two ourselves of the piglets and try and raise them up like friends of ours have done. Just quickly before we go, folks, there is an update coming on what we intend to do with the dam. It's a little bit hard at the moment because our decision on what's going on sort of depends on how much that costs to rewire at the moment, because yeah, the budget is pretty tight. So the other reason why is we just haven't had the time, and I'm thinking over the next couple of days when we get some rain, it would be a good idea for Bianca and I to go down there and actually show you the water moving, and then what the fix that Daniel was suggesting we do to it. And then fingers crossed in a week or so time, we'll know how much money's in the kitty, and we can go and tell Daniel yay or nay on option A or option B. So yeah, that's what's happening with that down there. Bianca was just saying as I walked over here that another pile of soil just fell into the dam from that big erosion spot there. So it is definitely something that's on our mind and we need to do. It's just, yeah, unfortunately we need to make the house safe for us to live in and for this little numbskull down here. So you're going to say goodbye, Jack? You're going to say goodbye? No, he won't. So I think we'll pretty much all leave it there, folks. Say goodbye to Bianca and Jack, who just abandoned me quick smart when I said he couldn't have any eggs. But I do hope you're all well and happy, and we will catch you next video. Cheers, folks. Have a top one.